Good morning. Hi, everybody. Okay, let's make sure this is working. I want to start with a story this morning. By the way, my name is Lisa Dublin, and welcome to This Just Came to Me. I want to tell you a story this morning before I even get into everything. And it's about something that happened when I was a teenager. And I was at school, high school, and it was the very last day of high school. And well, I was a prefect, but I don't know that I was the best role model prefect, right? A bit on the DL, a bit on the down low. And on the very last day of school, I left. I left the school. My friends and I, we went out. We were going to have a good time. There was a restaurant, there was a beach involved, all of the things. And I left the school without saying anything to anybody. I didn't expect them to call me. I thought I had done everything that I was supposed to do. But lo and behold, later in that afternoon, while we were sitting comfortably at a restaurant in the city called Kimlan's, if you're from St. Lucia, you'll know what I'm talking about. Some of my friends come up to me who had stayed the course and stayed in school that very last day. And they said, Lisa, the principal is looking for you. Okay. The principal at the time was a renowned, well known lady, nun called Sister Claire. Sister Claire is looking for you. That's everybody's nightmare. There were no cell phones at the time. And so I went to the square. There were phone booths at every corner of the square. And I called the school. And I asked to speak to Sister Claire, and I gave some just cock and bull story about, oh, I needed to go, I had a stomach ache. It made no sense, right? She could tell that I was lying clearly, that I had left the school, I had flown the coop, all of the things. And here's the denouement of the story. So she's very refined and very deliberate in how she speaks. And Sister Claire on the phone, she pauses after I've given my story, trying to sound all breathless and in pain, and it's not working. And she says to me, some people just lack finish. Some people just lack finish. Ouch. She didn't need to say anything more than that. Like after she said that, it stung. It stung very deeply to the point where I am the person who hastens after things to finish them, to get them completed because it's stuck in the back of my mind. I'm not going to be the person who lacks finish. Why am I bringing up this story? As well as to bless you and to say, hey, stay the course, finish what you started. It also is because this is day 24, I believe, of my 31-day challenge. And I'm feeling it right now. Like I'm ready to move on to the next thing. But the reason that I'm here is because I will not lack finish. I will finish this well and have fun doing it. I think it's a worthy lesson for all of us. And, it wasn't just a lesson, there's something else in the bigger context of speaking, that sometimes the less that you say is the more powerful those words are. So it's a call for us to choose our words and to pass what we're saying, to think of what you're saying and how your words can definitely influence somebody else. So that is the lesson for this morning. Some people just lack finish. Is that going to be you? Absolutely not. So join me here as often as I can as I complete my 31-day challenge. You guys, there's something else, even before I get into the topic of today. There is something else that I've realized, and I think I had forgotten, because I had fallen out of going live, just doing all of the other things. Do you know that speaking begets ideas? That when you speak things out, how is it that you are in that process generating new ideas as you constantly speaking and thinking at the same time? That has been one of the blessings since I started the challenge, just to reclaim that speaking part of me, that thinking part of me, that in the moment ideas spring to life because you're watering them with words and thoughts and all of the things. It really does. I was speaking to a friend yesterday, and just telling him a bit of my plans for the future, for my programs and so on. And he said to me, why don't you speak it out? Why don't you speak it and like transcribe it, get AI to transcribe it for you? I went on a long walk, and I'll tell you about that in a bit. But that was his advice. Like, you have all of these ideas, write them down, but even more easily, You don't even need to be writing them down. You can literally speak into the recorder in your phone and then get a transcription service and AI service to just transcribe the words. And there you have your vision. You also, I was on the walk yesterday. I went for a long, about a 4 mile walk yesterday, and I began to do what he'd asked me to do because it made so much sense. So see me on the people on the road, just like speaking into my phone. People must have thought, that I don't even know what they thought. It didn't even matter. I'm so accustomed of seeing people doing that kind of thing anyway. This is Canada, Edmonton in particular, right? Where people are a little cuckoo. But anyway, so I just began speaking my vision, speaking and into the phone as I was going. And the more I spoke, is the more I elaborated and the more things came into my mind. So I'm going to take that's how you can speak a vision. That is how you bring things into existence, right? Like, oh geez, it's just so much that I've just been thinking about and putting in place, and things falling in place for me with what I want to do going forward. And I want to bring some of that to the table this morning to speak about those kinds of things this morning. So there's power in speaking. There's power in the visualization and the expression of that visualization. If it's just simply within you, it's not going anywhere. You need to speak it out. You need to perhaps not in the first instance tell people about it, but at least document what your dreams and your vision is for the future, for your business, for your kids, for your marriage, for your family. Like, document the entire thing as much as possible. So that's what I was doing for a lot of yesterday. I had a class yesterday, like let's start from the beginning, because I've just been having eureka moment after eureka moment after eureka moment. You know what a eureka moment is, right? Like, I found it. That's what eureka means. I found it. I've just been having these little things popping up and flaring up in my head the last couple days. So I sat in a class. I'm doing some kind of master class now. I'm upgrading business, etc. And I sat in the class and I literally witnessed the moment when the instructor's expertise and fire took over and just simply lit up all of us in that. I had to go back and listen to that Zoom because it was just so powerful. And those moments, you need to watch out for them. If you're following anybody, if you're if you're in a class with somebody who's passionate about what they do, there will be moments when that person simply catches fire, and you want to be able to capture those moments, because these are the moments of the deepest learning for the student who's listening and learning. These are the moments when it's unbidden, it's unconscious, it comes from so deep within the person that it actually leaps out at you. One such moment in the class, and this instructor who I'm speaking about, he's pretty monotone. So he and I will have to have a chat at some point about how to enliven a class and how to not make it boring, right? Because that's how he speaks. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can help you there to vary the tone and to put some interest in there, because you want to be able to communicate if you have all of those great ideas. But anywho, in the midst of his monotonous delivery, all of a sudden, this guy begins to speak about a certain way of posting and doing social media to make sense. And he just literally lights up. And you can see on the Zoom when people's body language also begins to respond to his enthusiasm and to the change in him, because he went deeper and was speaking about something that he absolutely felt. You guys, one, if you are a speaker, you want to have those moments, orchestrated or not. I don't think you can orchestrate them though. I think you can feel them and you can intensify the feeling for your audience. But I do believe that those things come and they rise from within you. And secondly, if you are the student who's in class, or you're on a live, or you're following somebody, a podcast, watch out for those times when the person just seems to catch a fire, just catch it. You want to be able to tap into that energy. I've experienced those kinds of moments on many podcasts, and I hope if you listen to my podcast, you'll find those moments as well, because they do happen. If you are that speaker who's very much in tune with yourself, it's going to happen more than other times. So, I'm still, I think, a very unconscious speaker still. So, go check out my podcast, by the way. It's out. Is that it? Oh, no, that's not it. It's right here. Number Episode number 47 is out. Everything changes when you're ready. This is from last week. I didn't quite get to record this week, just because so much was going on, and I didn't make it to the library in time. But go listen to the podcast. A lot of the things that I discuss here in the short ways, I really elaborate on in a more, I think, relaxed fashion on the podcast. So go listen. You can find the podcast wherever. It's the Basement Chronicles podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcast. Now, I want to turn the lens on that moment when you realize what you want to do with your life. If Here's a simple way to answer this question. I was thinking about it, and here's a simple way to decide on what is the thing that you want to do. If I said to you, if you had 1 year to live and you knew you would be successful, what would you be pursuing? It's a serious question. And sometimes the answer to that question is so far removed from who you are right now that it makes you take a step back and to take stock of what you're doing. I came to that realization yesterday, just because how the class went, and just the way the teacher poured into us. And I just had this moment. I was like, you know what, I don't care if it's 11 in the morning. Made sure my kids were okay, and I went out walking, thinking things through. And I asked myself that question. I've been thinking about it for some time now, and whittling things down to what I really want to do, what moves me, what sets me on fire, where it also I have the deepest impact and the most lasting, sustainable kind of interest, that kind of thing. Because obviously you are in business to make money. You're not there as a vocation. This is free. This is Basement Chronicles. This is the live stream. I've been doing this for like now 5 years, and very happy to be doing it. But this is the free tier. At the paid tier with my Speak with Confidence program, and now the one I'm going to tell you about, Find Your Fire, we're going all the way in. It's a paid program that people come in, they pay because it gives value, it gets results, it keeps on giving even after the programs are done. And so I asked myself that question, and I want you to ask yourself that question too as I speak. If you knew that you had 1 year to live, God forbid, it's not going to happen. We confess it. We are saying it's not going to happen in Jesus' name. Okay? It's just hypothetical. But you had 1 year to live, and anything you did, it would be a success. What would you do? What's your answer to that question? When I thought about it, okay, I realized the thing that brings me the most joy, the thing that I'm most passionate about right now, in any case, because things can change, I want to be about the speaking life. I want to coach speakers and train them in how to speak with confidence and authenticity. I want to coach speakers who want to take it further and teach them how to make their first 2K as a speaker, because it is possible. I want to coach executives who want to improve their communication skills and say to them, hey, this is how you do it. Get off your executive chair and get in front of the people, because some executives, they speak from the executive chair, looking out at people instead of leading with the Care Bear heart. You remember that series, that cartoon series, the Care Bears? And you remember how like love and light used to just stream from them? Right. If you can become that kind of speaker, you have everybody in the audience, because every single person needs care and love and attention, even in a professional setting. So these are the kinds of things that I want to do. And it's not only that, I took it a step further. I'm also a life coach, and I still have life coaching clients who I kind of straddle teaching about speaking and about life coaching. In my Speak with Confidence program, one of the reasons that this program works is because I am able to also give life skills coaching to these people who come into the program. In the one-on-ones with me, we don't just speak about speaking, we speak about the underlying issues about your life that prevent you from stepping out in confidence and authenticity. It runs the gamut of, I don't think I'm pretty enough, to, stuff has happened in the past I'm not too happy for, and I think people are still holding it against me, to stuff like, who am I to be stepping out there? I don't feel qualified. You guys, stepping out here and speaking is not just about opening your mouth and just letting words come out. It is interconnected to who you think you are, what you think you've done, what you think your place is in the world. And it has been my absolute pleasure to be able, hey Angela, how are you doing? I got it right this time, eh? I did. It has been my absolute pleasure to be able to coach speakers in the things of life, to make sure that when they come on stage that they are clean, as clean as possible. And I mean, what I mean by that is not clean as in no sin or whatever. I mean as having an objective and calm and peaceful state of being as possible, so that your message, it reaches people without the tinges of all the things that you're going through and so on. I was coaching a CEO this week, and he realized that um, stepping on stage and speaking is so intimately related to what's going on in the business at the time. And we discussed that for a while. And one of the ways to get around that is to separate you on stage from the rest of your life. All the world's a stage, as Shakespeare said in As You Like It, and it's the name of my program for the CEOs. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man or one woman in his time, her time, plays many parts. Your part, when you step on stage, is to perform, to get the message across in the way that you want it, and for it to reach the audience as best as you know how. That is your whole jam. It doesn't matter what's happening in the boardroom, what's happening on the floor of the office in terms of like the staff members, etc. It doesn't matter. You have a responsibility to either inform, persuade, motivate. And I discovered actually another one of them. I was coaching a high profile person. And you know what happened? I discovered another reason for speaking. You guys, are you ready? So, traditionally, and it's not just from me, in all of the public speaking books, you will find people pointing to 4 reasons that you traditionally step on stage: to inform, persuade, motivate, or to entertain. And so when I brought, that traditional thinking and was discussing it with my client, she's like, well, I don't do any of these ones. I don't step on stage to inform. There's no need. Like, no, she doesn't come to entertain for sure. Not to, well, maybe to motivate to some extent, but it's almost like she's such a brand that none of these things apply. And so I was like, so why do you think you step on stage? Why do you take up the mic? Why do you speak to people? And she said, it makes so much sense. I speak so that people can get to know me and I can get to know them. Can you imagine that? That's what happens when you have a high profile career. When you yourself, the name is a brand. You don't even have to do the work. You just simply have to exist and to be. You guys, like that, of all the years of teaching this, and kudos to the fact that I'm coaching, I guess, more well-known people now. And it's, that's, praise the Lord for that. I just take the role with it. But look at how we hopped on another reason that you take the mic. It's not about I'm working to inform. I don't even care. I'm so much of a brand that speaking is just get to know me, spread goodwill, spread good cheer, and just to exist and to be. Like that I added it in one time to my slide presentation, and the students who are going to be doing cohort 10 will get that updated information, because I don't know that you can hop on those kinds of changes except that you live this life. So these are all the things that are happening, that when you put yourself in a field that you love, you begin to see so much more than the average person who's just looking on the outside. It's because you get deeply involved in it, because you love it, because you're pursuing it with everything you have. And I'm like, I'm just pitching my camp in speaking. I'm pitching my camp in all of the things about speaking, which is why, I am doing Find Your Fire. And it's not just for people who want to just step on stage as the keynote speakers, like I am, or even a guest speaker that I'm doing today. I'm doing a virtual presentation today on speaking with confidence to underprivileged women, women who've been battered, and so on. My challenge today and my objective is not to say climb the ladder to the top, but to show how a certain shift in recognizing that you have a voice. We all do, because we are human. No matter what has been done, all you need to do is to take certain steps, little steps. Say a yes when you mean yes, say no when you mean no, and just be okay with the consequences. Fall out sometimes, but the consequences all the time. Just that little shift. So you have keynotes, you have guest speaking. I know Angela's on here. She's going to be doing a career showcase thing very soon. I got the registration yesterday, Angela, by the way. And so my speakers do those kinds of things, but these are not the only areas where you can speak and make an income. You guys, while I was like getting ready for today, to come on, I was thinking to myself, another reason you want, if you have this gift of communication, you want to be able to leverage it. Listen, it's too tough now. We need multiple streams of income. And here's what I was thinking, because this has been my experience. I have been able to make, not all the time, but God is good, it's going to be that. I have been able to make in 2 weeks, make in one speech what I could have made in 2 weeks working in an office. Who does not want that? If I said to you that perhaps whatever your salary is in the 2 week interval, let's say what we call it fortnightly, here they say bi weekly, what you make bi-weekly, going and slaving at the office, dressing up, the wear and tear on your back, your shoes, your home, the commute, the stress of the commute. What if, with the gift that you have of communication that God gave you, you can make that amount of money in one speech, one presentation? Would you not want to add that to your arsenal of streams of income? I'm not talking about if you've never spoken before and you're just like scrambling. Oh my gosh, I need to have streams of income. Let me try my hand at speaking. I'm speaking to people who have been told that they've got that gift of speaking, who are complimented when and said that, oh, you're so articulate, you break things down so well. It's because you've never stopped to think that this talent that you've been using for free can actually yield you money. That's why you're not using it right now. But I'm here to say to you, if you have a system, the knowledge, the system, accountability, if you find yourself in a program like mine, Find Your Fire, you will learn how to leverage this speaking ability to your advantage. The other thing I want to say about that, and this is thinking about, if I want to do one thing in the world, I just want to stand at attention. Like while my speakers step on stage, I want to bear witness to the magic of the moment. I want to be there when they make their first $2,000 as speakers. I want to see the testimonials that say, you changed my life. If you had not said that, I would have done such and such. You changed my life. What I want to say about how I approach speaking, how I've been taught to do it, and it's so in keeping with who I am. Speaking is serving. However, you speak, you serve. For example, I know Angela's on here and she has this business, a bespoke business that deals in event management. She curates events, puts them together in a way that is individual to each client. Now, how can she leverage that skill with communication? Everything that she does. should be out there. She should be talking to camera when she's setting up the events, talking about what it takes to set up an event. So, in other words, one of the things we will be doing in the Find Your Fire program is teaching students how to speak around their topic. You might be the keynote or the guest speaker. However, you might also be the entrepreneur who has a great product, but is so shy. You don't want to talk. You know the number of people I have invited on my Basement Chronicles show. It's not, well, okay, it's live. I know live is like people think live is a little more dangerous, but the way that I teach people is learn to control what you want to say and what you don't want to say, and then you'll be okay. And honestly, if you do believe and you are true and honest about who you are and what you offer, there's no problem in going live because it's you anyway. It's you anyway. So it's not as if everything's just totally above board and you're the innocent person. No, don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, what I do decide to present is authentic and is valuable and is true. So I've got no problem in coming on live and letting whatever will be, will be. A lot of people don't want to do that because they are frankly fake. What they present is not theirs. It's either stolen or it's chat GPT'd only, right? So they have problems. But the kinds of speakers I raise and I train, I make you go deep enough to see who you are, to face it, to be okay with it, and to present it to us, the good and the bad. That's what it's about. Okay. So those are the kinds of people who belong in Find Your Fire. These are I had to face myself. I just want to coach these people. These are going concerns. I called us a student slash friend yesterday who has a speech tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, right? Yeah. She has a speech. No, tomorrow is Thursday. She has a speech on Friday. And I'm so excited discussing on the phone with her. Okay, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should think about that. I'm so excited for my students to be able to step out there and to grace the world and to give the world the value that comes from being earnest about a thing and wanting people to know about it and bless them with it. Bring that value in. I'm so excited about that in a way that I won't pick up the phone and just like be chit chatting like, hey, hello, what? No, you have a going concern. We're talking because it's like a goal. It's like a goal. So you have so many reasons to use the talents that God has given you. Do you guys know this scripture? Proverbs 18:16. It says, a man's gift will make room for him and bring him before kings. Proverbs 22:29. It says this, do you see a man or a woman diligent in her work? She shall stand before kings. She shall not stand before mean men. How many people are getting ready to go into the office for mean managers and mean supervisors and people who denigrate you, ignore you, are racist to you? And you're sitting on this talent that only needs some honing, some nurturing for it to break forth and to be something that puts you on the path to being celebrated because people appreciate the value that you're going to bring with what's inside of you. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You have not considered it, but now you're hearing it because I'm here talking about it. I'm saying to you, if you are a great communicator and you have something to say to the world, you can be a paid speaker. You can add to your monthly income. You can have another stream of income that is easy for you to do because you already are in the element of speaking anyway. Why would you not want to do that? Whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are somebody who's just a person with ideas and you want to get on stage, there is room for you. I'm about to put out, I think on social media, it's probably today or tomorrow. I have a list of the different kinds of speaking that you can do and get paid for. So, keynote, yes. Guest speaker, yes. Panelist, MC or host. I brought in a group of people for Find Your Fire only to discover that one of them has a penchant for and a talent with MCing and hosting. And this person is about to get paid for something that he has been doing for so long. You know why he's now getting paid for it? He came into the program and he realized the worth of what he has to offer. We worked on the mindset to we had to get past who do I think I am? Like who am I? I'm not an imposter, or am I? Who am I to be doing this? People know me one way during the day in my 9 to 5. When they see me stepping out, what are they going to think? Yeah, until you step out there and you realize how much of a great impact you make. So now he still is a speaker. However, he's also discovering that talent of I can MC and host at such a level that people will pay me for it. What is your hidden talent? Oh, we have no excuse. You have the talent of speaking. Let me help you find what you need to say it well. Whether you are that person who's the thinker or whether you are the entrepreneur who needs to, how did you find out about Speak with Confidence? You know how you found out? Because I came out and I spoke about it. I used my words to speak about speaking. A speaker, I go out and I do workshops on confidence. I also speak on entrepreneurship because that is dear to my heart, about find your thing and do it. And not that you don't care, but you're not influenced by the fear of the world. Like no holds barred. You guys can tell I'm very passionate about this, right? I'm going to stop here. So this just came to me. Day 24 is in the bag. And what we're talking about, the question I want, the uncomfortable question I'm leaving you with, dear listeners, whether you're on the replay or whether you're listening now. Here's the uncomfortable question for you. If you knew you had 12 months to live and whatever you chose to do, it would be successful, what would you be doing now? Okay. I hope the answer to that question yields for you just happiness, quality of life, and of course, quantity and, prosperity. Thank you for listening. Join me same time tomorrow as we go into day 25. Bye, everybody. Take care.